We all lead at some times in our lives, don't we? Maybe your first leadership moment happened in school. Maybe you were part of a lab team or something like that. Or maybe it didn't happen until you became a parent and realized how much leadership parenting takes. Or maybe another kind of leadership role as your parents got older or in some other way in your family, right? Like we all have these moments. Maybe you've always been a leader in lots of situations. Maybe you only take on a leadership role when you absolutely have to. But whatever it is, like God calls us to leadership, I think, at a lot of different points. And that's what we want to talk about today here on the North Hills Devotional. You see, we're going through all sorts on Tuesdays, all sorts of texts that talk about do not fear. And this Tuesday, ours comes from a very important leadership transition. See, the Bible is kind of full of these leadership moments where God finds somebody that would be like the farthest thing that you would expect. The farthest person, the last person on your list, the person way far out. He finds, a murderer, or he finds, an oppressor, or he finds someone, he flips their life around, turns it inside out, and he's like, hey, I need you. Let's go. Like he finds these flunkies, these dropouts, these not good enoughs. And he says, hey, I need you to lead something new. And so these unsuspecting people, we find them becoming leaders over and over again as God needs to accomplish something in the world. And one thing I'm certain of is most of them didn't see themselves as a leader prior to it. So this week, we're going to go to one of those challenging call moments, this moment where imagine following one of the greatest leaders of all time, like in national history, right? Imagine following someone that everyone looked at and revered because of the incredible things that they had done to make life better for everyone. Imagine following Moses, right? Moses, who led the nation out of Egypt. Moses, who called down plagues upon the most powerful nation in the world. Moses, who delivered by hand the 10 Commandments. Who hung out with God on a mountain. Who literally wrote the first 5 books of our Bible. Imagine God saying, hey, I need you to follow that guy. I need you to be like, the next guy in line. Yeah. Can you imagine following Moses? It's intimidating feeling just to imagine it. But the leader that followed Moses, Joshua, you see, he knew his leadership wasn't about him. He knew his leadership relied on God's leading, not his own. And I think that's true servant leadership, is to say, I'm just the vessel. I'm here to serve, to do whatever it takes. This is God's thing, right? And so Joshua, which in Greek would be Jesus, but Joshua is being installed by God, and he is becoming the leader of the nation of Israel right at the beginning of the book, right in the first chapter, right in verse 9. And Joshua is being installed by God as the leader of Israel, following Moses. Moses has died, and that chapter in Israel's history is ended, and they're about to take on some huge epic battles. They're about to go back in and they're about to head into the promised land. And Joshua is here, and I think going through his mind are all sorts of things. Like, I feel, these are normal, like, leadership things. I kind of feel alone in this, or do I have what it takes? Or am I courageous enough to make the hard decisions? Can I be unpopular in making right decisions? Can I be self-sacrificing? Is it just me? What's my legacy going to be? I don't even know what all is going through Joshua's mind, but I think it's a lot of that, because I think that's what leadership is about, is questioning yourself fairly often. And Joshua hears these words from God. And I want you to hear them today and just think about, where's this area of life that God is calling you to lead? Maybe he's asking you to step up and lead a little bit more at work. Maybe he's asking you to lead a little bit more in faith at home. Maybe he's asking you to lead in your neighborhood or or in some way, but maybe there's some leadership that God is calling you to, and you might be resisting. I want you to hear these words this morning, okay? Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you?" Like, I've told you this. I've commanded this of you. Be strong and courageous. Like, you don't have to command me, except that sometimes you do, right? Like, sometimes I'm weak and scared. And he says, no, no, no. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Right? Here's this incredible verse. It's a verse that's often a memory verse. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. You know, we're living in a very transitionary time, and you might not see yourself as a leader, but I promise you, as life changes and transitions, and the way we see church and community and economy and all these, the fabric of our society change and transform and shift, you will be called to lead in some way. You will be called by God to take this role in some way. And whether you see yourself as a leader or not, I want you to hear these, because in times like these, we need leaders. We need people who are called to lead in all sorts of different facets and all sorts of different roles, to step in and say, okay, God, use me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know that my leadership counts on you. So I'm just going to hang on tight, and I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to let you in on something. Like, as the pastor of North Hills, I actually pray for leaders. I pray for leaders and for leadership. I pray for leaders in our homes. I pray for leaders in our places of business. I pray for leaders in our government and in our communities. I pray for leaders, especially in our church, that the leaders might feel supported and might hear this message, and at the same time that more might hear the call and respond to that call to lead in some way, small or large. I pray for you today. So in these moments when they come up, do not be afraid. You're not alone. Do not be discouraged, for your confidence can be in the eternal. Do not worry about your weakness, because in your weakness, He is strong. So let me pray for you this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I just want to pray for you right now. God, thank you so much that you call us to do things with you. You invite us to partner with you, to take on these leadership roles, both large and small, in all sorts of varying times and moments and skills and talents. And God, in this just diverse way where we realize that we rely on you in all things, I just pray that you would give us strength and courage, that we would feel your presence with us as we go through our day. I pray this in your name. Amen.